In the last lecture, we learned exactly what Agile software development is. It's an iterative method of software development where you focus on a few of the most important features first, gather feedback, then create the next version of your product. In this lecture, we'll be learning about two popular Agile development frameworks, Scrum and Kanban. You'll be using either one of these methods in your day-to-day life as a product manager, so get ready to make some notes. We'll be starting off with Scrum. Scrum is one of the two popular Agile software development frameworks. The other is called Kanban. Scrum is probably the most popular of the two frameworks. So let's delve into how Scrum actually works. Step 1 is the sprint planning meeting. This is where you start off with a product backlog that contains a list of things that you decided to work on. The sprint planning meeting is where you take the most important feature or features from your product backlog and move them into your sprint backlog. In your meeting, you will talk about all the work that needs to be done to bring your feature to life. These smaller pieces of work then go into something called tickets in your product management software. We will talk more about this later. Step 2. The work your team completes is constrained by a set time frame called a sprint. This is usually 2 weeks. During the 2 weeks, your team will take tickets off your sprint backlog and move them into the in progress column of your project management software, then eventually into the done column. At the end of your 2-week sprint, your team should have completed everything in your sprint backlog. If not, any uncompleted tickets roll over into your next sprint. Step 3. Stand-up meetings. These are small daily meetings usually held in the morning with your product team. It's called a stand-up meeting as the aim is to keep it really brief. This helps if everyone is actually standing up. The goal is to get every team member to go quickly over what they're working on last, what they're working on now, and what they're going to be working on next. It is usually the time where your team should bring up any challenges, questions, or help they need to complete their tickets. Step 4. Retrospectives. This is a meeting that you have with your team at the end of each sprint. Your retrospectives are used to talk about 3 main things: what went well, what didn't go so well, and what questions people have. It's the perfect opportunity for you to gather some honest feedback from your team. We've learned a lot in this lecture, and you should now know exactly what Scrum is. So to recap, we've learned what a sprint planning meeting is, what a product backlog is, what a sprint backlog is, what a sprint is and how long it should be, why stand-up meetings are important, and lastly, why retrospectives are valuable. In the next lecture, we're going to learn about another Agile software development framework called Kanban. We're going to learn how it works and why it's popular with product managers.